Hey guys, it's Yax here. Welcome back to my channel. Disclaimer, I'm going to be wearing my glasses today because I usually don't wear them a lot. Not as much as I should. And if you don't wear them a lot, it'll affect your eyes or whatever. So I'm going to wear them throughout this video. You're going to see that glare in my glasses. I'm not super technical yet with my videos. I just have I bought one light for this video. If it bothers you, I'm really sorry, but yeah. Alright, let's get into the video. So today we're going to be talking about my experience taking a gap year. I really want this to be helpful for any seniors in high school, anybody that's in college that is thinking about taking a gap year, and pretty much anybody that is just really doubting their experience in school right now, and they're just they need time for themselves. So this is pretty much what this video is going to be about. It's definitely going to be insightful and helpful. Hopefully somebody will find this helpful, but yeah, so let's get started into it. So first we're going to talk about what a gap year is. Not many people know about gap years. So a gap year is pretty much taking a year off from school, either before starting school or starting school again. And you don't really see this in a lot of students. The students that are doing this are pretty much hidden about it. So for me, unless someone asks me about why I'm taking a gap year, I don't really like to flaunt it or anything like that. It's not something that I'm oh, I'm taking a gap year, I'm taking a gap year. Unless someone asks me, I won't mention it. So the reason why I took a gap year is that back in November of my senior year in high school, I was kind of going through a lot of challenges in my life. It was just a lot of family issues and just a lot of self issues. I was really stressed about a lot of things, academic wise, mentally, everything. Physically, I was focusing on my track career, and I was still trying to get back into the hang of things with academics because in that same year, towards March of 2016, I got into a car accident, and it just really set me back academically because I was still trying to make up my finals for my previous year, for my junior year, and I was still trying to make up for my GPA, for my loss, for my AP classes, and it was just a lot of complications that I was going through. So at that brink point, I was going through a lot of stress in my life and trying to figure out what am I gonna do for the next 4 years after high school when I go to college, because I already knew college was something for me. Yeah, I would just go home crying. I was just so stressed. I was overwhelmed. I was what am I gonna do? Where am I gonna go? I knew I wanted to go to college, and I was in the middle of applying to colleges and all that stuff, but I was I can't even picture myself on a campus next year because I know I'm not where I want to be. I ended up deciding to take a gap year. I made that conclusion by really creating a game plan for myself. And plus my mother, my aunt that I live with here in California, they were never gonna let me take this gap year unless I have a plan for myself. And frankly, I think that's the best way to do it. What I decided to do is that I created a game plan, and my game plan was take the gap year. One, I need to figure out where I'm going to live. Actually, I need to figure out where I'm going to apply. And I knew UCLA. UCLA has always been the school that I wanted to go to. Ever since my freshman year of high school, but just I don't mean to get super deep and super personal, but my actual guidance counselor, when I mentioned UCLA as the school that I wanted to go to for after high school, my freshman year, I was kind of put down. I was just told oh, are you sure? It's a really hard academic school to get into. And frankly, I already knew all of this stuff. I knew that it was a hard school to get into. That's why I wanted the challenge. That's why I wanted to be pushed. I wanted to be put in AP classes straight shot from freshman year of high school. But yeah, I was told oh yeah, it's going to be super hard to get into that school. Are you sure? Are you sure you want to go there? By the looks of it, by the classes you're taking, I don't really know if you want to go there, if you're going to be able to make it. And I was just I know that she didn't mean to put me down, but she definitely lowered my self-esteem, and that definitely affected a lot of things throughout all throughout my high school career. And it wasn't until sophomore junior year where I was just you need to push yourself. Your GPA is not where it is. UCLA needs high GPAs, and you're definitely not there. You're okay, but you're not there. Pretty much what I decided to do my senior year, I didn't really like choose to take this gap year up until my senior year. It came to pretty much around like November to December where I was just like, I'm like stumped, you know. I was going through a lot of issues in my life and with my family, and it was just like a lot of complications, and school was just stressing me out. I was really pushing myself to take all these AP classes and do all these really hard classes so I can build up my GPA so I can go to the schools that I wanted to go. So that's when I took my AP classes. Then junior year I got into that car accident that I just mentioned before. For my plan, I had to figure out where I wanted to go to school. UCLA was definitely that school that I wanted to go to. By the end of this gap year, I wanted to be on their campus. I wanted to be a part of that community. I know that I worked so hard in high school, and I took this sacrifice to take the gap year, figure myself out, really get myself to where I wanted to be so I can be ready for UCLA. So I figured out that I want to go to UCLA. I had to apply to other campuses in case UCLA didn't work out. The school that I chose was UCLA. The next thing I needed to do was, okay, since UCLA is in California, I need to make a game plan to move myself to California, really adjust myself to the life and get accustomed to life here. Because in my opinion, life in different states are different. Like, they're just different. They have different laws. They have different kind of people. They have different rules, school rules, and everything like that. And I needed to get myself accustomed to it. I needed to find myself because I didn't feel like I fit into any of Illinois schools or Illinois itself. I love the people. I love my friends that are there. I love my family that are from there. But I just felt like for myself, that wasn't the plan that I needed to be a part of. UCLA was the school I chose, and then now I knew that I needed to move to California. And I was like, okay, what am I gonna do within this gap year to prepare myself for UCLA and to make myself even better than I am today to make this gap year worth it? So I decided that I was just going to focus on working, of course, because I need to pay my bills. It sucks, but that's the reality of moving out by yourself. So I needed to work and pay my bills. I needed to definitely look into scholarships. I needed to research the career field that I wanted to be into and get myself familiarized with that whole community as well, within the community that I'm already in right now. I just needed to better improve myself, so when I do apply to these schools and I get accepted to wherever I get accepted, and then I major in whatever I choose to, I know that this major is what I'm gonna choose because I need it for the career that I accustomed myself to, that I familiarized myself for. So I knew that I wanted to go into crime scene investigation. So I recently went on a police ride along back in, I believe, November of 2017. So a few months ago, I went on this police ride along. I contacted the police department and I was like, hey, my name's Yixani Sanchez. I really want to be part of crime scene investigation. I'm really into like this type of field. I hear that you guys do police ride-alongs. Am I able to go on one and really experience something different prior to going to college next year? I waited I got the email back. I communicated with the officer. She was very helpful. She was super nice, and she took me on her police ride-along. It was so fun. I got to experience a lot of things. I saw a different side. Instead of like you see cops riding behind you or like besides you and you get super scared, but just being in the car is such a different experience that, very few people get to experience, and I was very grateful that I got to do that. That was another thing that I got to experience that maybe I couldn't have experienced being in school right now. So I went on the police ride along, and then I also researched more in crime scene investigation. And to actually be an intern for that type of field, I wouldn't be old enough, first of all, and you need to have a major in the science, because when you go there, you have to sign waivers and everything like that, and you're gonna see a lot of gory stuff. You're gonna see a lot of homicide situations. You're going to be in the lab. You need to understand the content that's going to happen in the lab. You can't just be 18 years old in the lab not knowing what's going on, because a lot of stuff goes into these type of things. And so I looked up into that, and so I'm really excited to do that after college, after my major. Yeah, I created a game plan for myself. I needed to execute it. I needed to really commit myself to this game plan and really be happy with the choice that I made for myself, because if you're not happy with your choice, by the end of this gap year, you're gonna be lost again. You're gonna feel like I felt November of 2016 lost of where I'm gonna be next year. So that's what you really, really have to do. Really, the bigger picture is just create a game plan for yourself. Find yourself. Find what kind of person you want to be. Because you see a lot of students that are going to college right after high school, and some really go to college because they know what they want to be. They know who they want to be. They know what they want to major in. They're pretty much ready for that. But you see a lot of other students that are just picking majors at random because they're pressured by society. They're pressured by their family to go into college and be successful and whatever, but they end up changing their major because they never really knew what they really wanted to be, and they end up dropping out and then not going back. And I don't see that as a bad thing, but it sucks if you don't know who you want to be and then you drop out and then you're lost, and it's just like, it's really hard to get yourself out of that rut, which is why I'm really grateful that I took this gap year. And I know deep in my heart that I'm gonna commit myself to school. Wherever I end up going, I'll be grateful, but I'm gonna commit myself. I'm going to make it happen for myself because I made this decision to take the gap year, putting aside that there's other factors why I took this gap year, but I made this choice for myself, and I don't want to put myself down if I don't end up doing what I said I was gonna do. I want to keep my word. So yeah, that's pretty much what a gap year is and how I decided to take the gap year. And now we're pretty much gonna go into my experience moving here, making the move and being independent. So I moved here in June of 2017. I moved here to San Diego, California, and I was really, really scared. I was super scared to move here. I just didn't really know what I was doing. I knew what I wanted to do, but it was just so surreal to me that I was moving to California and taking this jump at 17. My birthday's in July, so I was 17 in June. And making this jump at 17, and I was like, oh my god, like, what am I doing? This is crazy. Like, am I really making this choice for myself right now? I bought my plane tickets. My mom bought my plane tickets. I packed my stuff, and it was so hard packing my stuff. Like, I was so excited, whatever, but like, when it came down to it, it was really, really hard to pack my stuff. Like, I had to just empty out my room completely of my things, ship out everything. Like, I still have like all the boxes right here are still from June, because I don't want to unpack them and then move to the dorm. It's just like a lot of unpacking. It's a lot of like books and like little frames, whatever, that I don't want to put out all over my room yet. I was packing my room and I was just like, wow, like, this is it. Like, I'm really moving. I grew up in Illinois and I'm just so used to living here. This is all I know. This is all I knew. After I ended up packing my room, it was really hard to say goodbye to my friends, especially my best friend Kelly, my other friend Casey, Sasha, Diana, and then my sister Diana. It was super, super, super hard to say goodbye to the people that I loved. Like, I'm gonna be 2,000 miles away from people, but I needed to make this choice for myself. I knew that I wanted to do this, so I had to dedicate myself. My experience on the plane, I went to the airport, my experience on the plane, it was just like, it was finally hitting me. I knew that I was moving. It finally hit me, and by this point, I was already crying from saying goodbye to my best friend Kelly and my dad, my grandparents, and my sister. My sister was the hardest goodbye, by far. She's my best friend. Like, Kelly's my best friend, but like, your sister, if you have siblings and you like them, you get along with your siblings, like, they're your best friend. And it was just so hard to say goodbye to her. Like, I love her and I still miss her every single day, and it was just really, really, really freaking hard to say goodbye to her. But on the plane, I was already in tears, and it finally hit me, like, wow, I'm literally living in California in a few hours. The flight attendant was like, enjoy your stay in San Diego, California, when we landed, and it was like, oh, like, wow, like, this is a one-way ticket, like, I'm not coming back. It was like bittersweet. That was probably one of my hardest goodbyes. You have to be ready for that when you take gap year and you're gonna really move out of state. But the key thing, definitely the key thing about taking a gap year is to be sure that you want to do this. And if you're not going to be moving to a different state and you just want to stay at home and be with your family for a year before you go to college, and that's totally fine. Try to be more independent for yourself. I'm not saying, like, for me, you don't have to get like an apartment and whatever, but be more independent for yourself. Like, do things for yourself. If it's like picking up groceries by yourself, like doing your laundry, whatever, just like do things for yourself to learn how to be independent. I was definitely someone who felt like she was independent. It finally hit me that I really wasn't until I moved here. I have to make sure I pay my bills on time. I have to make sure I clean my room, even though I am very lazy sometimes. I have to clean it sometimes, you know, like you can't just leave it messy because you're gonna be disorganized, and you need to organize yourself. You need to take care of your health. You need to take care of the food intake that you have. Growing up is hard, but you need to watch out for this stuff because it's gonna hit you when you're later and you're an adult and you're like have all these health issues. So you have to be really, really independent for yourself and watch out for your own health and all of that stuff. That's pretty much my experience kind of moving here, packing up my stuff and doing those hard goodbyes. So now let's get into the finance of it, like how to actually pay, how to pay for college and how I'm gonna pay for college. First of all, you should all be applying to scholarships. No matter if you filled out FAFSA or not, you should all be applying to scholarships. That's the key thing in this because that's where you're gonna get most of your money too. FAFSA can give you a little bit, but if you don't qualify for a lot, scholarships are really gonna be key into this. A key thing into your gap year before you start school. That's what I'm in the middle of doing. I'm still trying to find scholarships. I'm still trying to figure out which ones to correctly apply to because you can't apply to easy ones and then super hard ones and not do middle ones or like whatever. You have to apply to a good range of scholarships because you have to give yourself more opportunities. You can't apply to all hard because they have the biggest money and then guess what? It's so competitive that you didn't get anything. So scholarships, definitely do scholarships. Definitely make sure you filled out your FAFSA. If you still haven't filled out your FAFSA, you have to get onto that because that's also still gonna help you. Like it's not the key thing, but it's still the key thing, if you know what I mean. So yeah, scholarships, FAFSA, and pretty much just saving your money, figuring out how to adjust your finances and look into credit cards, but know how to use credit cards. Don't buy credit cards, just spend your money. Know how to use your credit card money. Knowing how to correctly adjust your money to your rewards cash back on your credit cards. And if you don't know what that means, just go search it. Take some time for yourself and really like research and like what that means. Just really figure out like what you want to do for this gap year, and that's the key thing. And I kind of a little side note, like keep in mind that it doesn't even have to be like one gap year, like one full year. It doesn't have to be just 1 year. If it takes you 2, 3, 4, 5, even 10 years to figure yourself out, there's really no pressure. Like I don't really believe in like the idea that you have to go to college right after high school and like whatever. Like if you don't, you're gonna be like a loser for the rest of your life. You're never gonna make it. Like I don't believe in that. If you like, I truly respect it like for people that take the time for themselves, and if it takes them a little bit more time than others, like that's fine. But I respect it if you really work on yourself, find yourself, figure yourself out and make a game plan for yourself, because knowing that you want to go back and knowing that you're going to be better later on than waste your money now and be confused while in school, that's even better to me than going to school right away and then just like being confused and not really being able to figure yourself out. So if it takes you that long, just know that it's okay. And if you guys have any more questions, if this video didn't touch up on a certain like question that you had, feel free to message me on Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, all of that stuff, and all of those links will be down below in my description. And honestly, like, don't be afraid to message me or ask me anything, even if like I've never talked to you in my entire life. Like, it's totally fine. I'm not gonna judge you for anything, and feel free to ask me any questions because I'm still in the middle of my gap year. It's almost coming to an end. I get to see where I'm gonna get accepted in March, the month of March, so I'm pretty excited for that. But I'm halfway there. I'm halfway almost done. I'm starting this fall, depending on where I go. And yeah, so thank you for watching, guys. This was a very, very long video, but I hope it was super helpful to somebody watching this video. And thank you for watching. I'm really appreciative of you guys. And we finally reached 1,000-something views total for my channel, and I literally can't believe it. Like, I would have never thought that I would even reach that. Like, I thought I was gonna reach like 100 views and that's pretty much it, but just know that I'm super, super thankful. I'll continue to make videos. Sometimes they're gonna be funny, sometimes they're gonna be super personal, super deep. Just know that I'm super grateful. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to. Share this with anybody that you think will find this helpful. And yeah, thank you for supporting me. All right, see you guys later. Bye.